tonight, which tonight's theme, if you aren't familiar, is adventure games, and I'm going to use that in quotes. And you know how I love to stretch a theme. Most of them are pretty firmly within this adventure game genre, though, and the first one is no exception. We're going to be kicking it off live with Hercules: The Legendary Journeys, a wonderful, incredible N64 game that's going to be run by Giga. So, Giga, the floor is yours. Take it away.
All right, hello. I'm Giga7K, or you can just go with Giga. I'm joined here by Spock and Shoehorse, one of
That's us.
few select group of Hercules knowers in existence. This is a very fascinating game, and you'll see why very, very quickly. It's right in that intersection, right at the center of the Venn diagram of awful and silly. And it's best to just let the game speak for itself, although I'll have to do a lot of speaking for it in the next 5 minutes or so. So we will get started, and it'll be when I hit select file in 3, 2, 1, and go.
Good luck.
All right, so this is Hercules: Legendary Journeys, not the Disney story. This is based on the live-action TV show. We're getting the TV show intro right now. This is literally like these images are just drawn versions of the intro that they'd be showing you at the start of every episode. Most of the footage just being from the movies before the TV show even started. Basically, Zeus has been trapped in an orb by Ares, and everyone's in trouble, and everything sucks, and the rest of the gods aren't really doing anything. So we're gonna go ahead and clip through this wall. We'll be seeing a lot of that, and then we're gonna do another trick, which is a pause clip or a pause jump right up there. And now we got to go farm ourselves some money. So you'll quickly notice that walls in this game very porous. We're going to be pausing a lot because this game is very laggy, and we get to take advantage of that by pausing, which makes the game lag even more. And when we do that, so when you pause, the game sort of like advances by a frame, and in that frame, you're going to be able to clip through a lot of seemingly solid objects. Well, maybe not so seemingly solid. You could clip through these things by accident most of the time if you were to play this game casually. So we're going to be doing that a lot. You saw it with the barn. Then the pause jump, sort of the same deal. We use the same idea to get a little bit more height out of a jump. And now we're doing double jumps here. And what a double jump is well, it's pretty self-descriptive. Basically, if you jump right before a dialogue box pops up, you will be sent back down to the ground, first of all. And then you'll probably see Hercules do a little, like, he'll snap up and then he'll like teleport down to the ground. And that means that's good. We want to see that. You'll see it just in a second here, hopefully. This should still work. Okay, no, not quite. Almost. Now we get to do another trick. Wow, we don't always get to see this one. This is a ladder jump. You just let go of the ladder and you're able to jump again in midair, which normally you wouldn't be able to, obviously. Yeah, so when you do a double jump, when you get it right, you'll basically, as soon as the text box closes, you will shoot up. You'll still have like the vertical speed, but the game will think you haven't used your jump yet, and you'll be able to jump again right after that. So it skips us climbing a ladder. It also skips the explanation on how ladders work in the first place, and lets us do this faster, which is good because we have to do this several times because we need 700 dinars. This is part of the tutorial, but oops, the camera sometimes just decides to shift when you come out of that room, and it can really mess you up. So you got to be careful when you start running now. But yeah, we need 700 dinars. Our mentor, Chiron or whatever his name is, the centaur, who we don't talk to really. Well, I guess we do talk to him a lot. He just says the same thing most of the time. He's going to give us 50 dinars every time we clear this little training course of dummies. This is part of the tutorial, this like Kokiri forest area. We skip most of the tutorial because it doesn't pay us money, and we want to get paid. And then we kill the dummies, get our dinars, sorry, gotta keep it real, keep it authentic, the students of Greek history. And then we need 700 of them because we just have we have a long shopping list in this game. But yeah, so most of this beginning of this run just spent doing this. You would not believe how much time and fighting enemies it saves us later. Combat in this game sucks, so we try not to do any of it. And for the most part, we succeed.
So, Giga, what's the deal with that time left counter on there? What are those units?
It's the time. There's nothing weird about it. It's
Didn't even think about that. They're clearly not seconds.
It's taking 300 seconds every time. No, so as best as we can tell, and probably just what it is that's just the frame counter. It's just counting frames. You might notice, if you pay attention right now, interesting camera angle again. See, no idea what causes that, by the way. If you pay attention right now, you might notice that it's going faster right now, and then I'm going to turn around and I'm going to look at this beautiful waterfall and the rest of this stuff, and it might slow down a bit. It's
say that it slowed down a lot.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to be generous to the video game, all right? It has to treat me nicely a little bit. Oops, I almost fell.
You're right. Luckily, I can say whatever I want.
You can, yeah. You don't have to play it.
You're free.
So, you already did your time. But yeah, so I went back and I counted those frames a while ago, like a month ago or so. This game is running somewhere between 20 and 15 frames per second just in this section. And it gets lower than that, absolutely. So this is a sub Ocarina of Time frame rate with none of the smoothness.
I appreciate that you said the big number first to make me think it was going to be like, 20 to 30. That's not bad. You're like, no, 20 to 15.
20 to 15, because it only goes down. We're just illustrating the progress, and the progress is down. If you wonder what's in that treasure chest near the top of the waterfall, it's just a hint telling you can do your super punch to knock down walls, which we're not going to be doing that, by the way. We do use the charge punch. No, not ever. I guess we do it once in one boss fight, but it's not a wall because we don't care about walls. We use the super punch here because the dummies do take. I don't know why I'm starting with that one or that one. This is going to be a little weird.
Whoa.
That's fine. The super punch knocks him down in one shot. Nothing else really does. That should still be okay. A little slow, but we still got the double jump, which is the cool thing anyway. Every time, this is a saved person, if you're wondering who this person standing in here is. That is Scribe. That is her name. She introduces herself by saying, I am Scribe. It's not just a job title.
It's a way of life.
It's a way of life. Yeah. Everyone's very proud of their jobs in this game, and they will immediately tell you what it is that they do. There's a few really good ones that we don't get to see. So we have 700 dinars. We're good. We can leave the farm.
We can get out of here. Yeah, you're saying most combat damage has a variable amount of damage because it's based on the number of frames of contact, basically.
Yeah, so most attacks are, I guess, like a multi-hit, technically. Even a single punch can hit multiple times. And because of that, it's tied to your... It's not tied. Tied might assume that it's consistent, which it's not. Damage in this game is largely random because the frame rate is largely random.
Nice walls there, by the way.
Yeah, those are...
That's a super punch rock.
Holograms.
Something.
It's a super punch rock, absolutely. And I think you're supposed to collect the key to open the other gate, but we don't need to do that.
There's something hidden. We were there at that rock was the first big boss of this game.
Yeah. Do you think I remember how to play this game casually? Not at all. We're actually doing a speed check right now, by the way. You're not supposed to be able to do this dive in the swamp, but if I hit Z and the dive input at the same time, I can dive in the swamp.
The frame perfect Z.
Yeah, have you talked about the normal dive tech?
The normal dive tech? Yeah, so the normal dive tech is... to describe the weirdness of the inputs in this game, the jump button is on R, the punch button's on B. That's a normal button. But to do this dive that we're doing constantly, you have to press R and B at the exact same time. So anytime I'm doing this, that's a frame perfect trick, baby.
Oh wow.
as far as I can tell.
Elite. That's elite
Game's full of
gameplay.
tricks.
Elite. It's super elite. So you definitely won't see me, because I'm at this elite level, you won't see me punch the air for absolutely no reason several times. That'll just never happen.
If you did,
Or some
you would do a
jumping in
random
place.
amount of damage to the air.
Mm-hmm.
Or, oh my God.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So every time you punch the air, it has purpose. You're doing it for a reason.
It's celebratory.
Yeah,
every time.
There you go.
This is the first town of the game and also the first episode of the TV show. This is Trachis. We have to talk to this guard because we want to go fight the Cyclops, but he needs his teddy bear so he can feel safe. Even though he's the guard, he's the town guard. We have to talk to this lady. She's a little distracted, but she wants a cookbook.
Very unique appearance on that lady as well.
She's a unique individual, just like everyone else. And this guy just gave us a letter. He wants us to take it to his cousin. We'll do that in about 15 to 20 minutes. It's a bit of a trek. We got to go buy this. This is part of why we need money. That's the medallion of Athena.
We need 6 of those, right?
Yep, 6 of
Throughout
them.
the run.
Hercules really shouldn't be buying those. I mean, those are just like his siblings. They're just, normal people to him, but whatever.
It's not a normal
supporting
family.
the charitable causes. We got the cookbook for this woman in the only bookshelf in the entire town. There was a key in it for some reason. So we're going to clip through this gate. It'll save us a little bit of a swim. And because we need to pause to clip, we're actually going to try and take advantage of pauses to clip through things, not here apparently, and equip items at the same time, because pausing is pretty slow because the game is slow. So we've got the teddy bear, which was locked away in the chest by this guy's mom. No joke. Anyway, he's given us the key to the Cyclops fort, which is just over here. So we're about to come to our first boss fight of the game. Gotta equip this key so I can enter the fort.
So then why not just clip through that gate?
I was going to say the same.
You absolutely could. You can clip right through that gate. There's just nothing past it. And actually, it might crash the game, I think. So, as far as we can tell, they probably knew how easy it was to go through things, because you sure do have to spend a lot of time just getting the item to interact with a door instead of walking through the door. There are loading zones. They had the technology. But anytime it's important to progress with a plot, they just chose not to use a loading zone. They used the door for some reason.
Hercules' block is also very powerful.
Yeah, so I'm blocking his like shockwave attacks. Normally he would do a lot of damage with the shockwave. Instead, he just kind of does some chip damage, like it's a fighting game, you do a little bit of damage on block. So we've defeated the Cyclops, but we come to peaceful terms with him. He lifted the rock, he undammed the town, and then he got washed away by the river. Probably because I don't think this game could handle the Cyclops being out here.
Yeah, that bonk was iconic. Very good.
That was so good. Never happened before.
It's happened so many times. Just so you wait.
Wow.
You might get a genuine instance of that. We can't be squandering our 1 per run on that.
I've never seen it. It gave off the little sweats. It was good.
So we needed to do that mostly for this, mostly so we could get the water here so Aeolus could climb these intricate vines.
4 identical vines.
I say
also,
this.
that's not Hercules anymore.
No, this is Aeolus, his best friend. And as Hercules says, these vines are just too complicated for him. It's not that you can't. It's not that he's like too heavy, too weak, whatever. They're just too complicated. They're too intricate. Oh yeah, you're gonna quickly notice how friendly everyone in this video game is. Everyone is just very happy to see you.
It's really impressive though that every enemy has voice acting.
Yeah, I mean, how often did you get that? Not a lot.
Not often back in the day. No way.
If it looks like any of these buildings could be entered, they can't. This entire area is just a hallway.
It's a Monkey Ball 2 level. That's just what it looks like.
I'm struggling to think of what Monkey Ball 2 level you're thinking of.
Honestly.
Late in the
But
game.
I believe you. I believe you.
It gives me screensaver energy.
So we're coming to the second town, Nespa. Also kind of going for a Kokiri Forest thing. If you ask me, the Fireflies just immediately make me think Kokiri Forest. I don't know. This game wants to be Ocarina of Time.
Yeah,
so
I was
bad.
gonna say, have you noticed?
So much wants it. So I found a key there. And I'm just going to equip the key, clip through this gate, climb these vines to get to a treasure chest.
So intricate.
So intricate. We're skipping actually quite a bit of like fetch questing. Really the only fetch questing we're able to skip in this entire game is here because of that. What we are not doing is we are not going to rescue a child's lost cat, and we are not going to feed a starving person.
We are saving this man from the aura.
Yes, the mayor.
But just because he has a thing we need.
Yeah, he's got an important. He used to be the mayor of another town, so he's still got the key for some reason. They didn't change the locks. Bought another medallion. Aeolus is going to hand that off to Hercules. But yeah, the mayor has been trapped in a magical aura by Ares. Ares just has vaguely been messing things up all over the place. He's got the mayor sitting in his house aura farming. He's done some other stuff, which we'll see later. The Minotaur was not his doing. The Minotaur was working for Hera. Like I said before, that first town is just the first episode of the TV show. If you think, oh, wow, I wonder what other episodes of the TV show they reference. None. That's about it. There's some stuff from the TV show, but like nothing else is. You're not playing any other episode. There's just like some random characters. Actually, we didn't talk to Aphrodite also. She was in that town for some reason, but she's unfortunately not important.
Are you really playing the first episode in the first place? Do you find a teddy bear for a man in the first episode?
No, but it wouldn't be out of place for Hercules.
It wouldn't be. It was a real question, you know?
Yeah, no, there was no teddy bear. It could. You're right. I thought it was a commentary question, but no, I believe you. It wouldn't be surprising if Hercules needed to go get someone's teddy bear, and he might just do that in another episode that I don't remember. There were 6 seasons of that show, people.
Yeah, one of them in Ireland.
One of them in Ireland. 2 of them.
Why not?
As it was known at the time.
Yes.
I had another thought, but it's gone. Hercules makes me have a lot of thoughts in general.
It also disappears those thoughts too.
I would say the rocks, that first boss, I think these switches are the second boss for me when you're doing a casual playthrough.
There's a particular jump that we will not be doing instead of doing harder jumps. Oh, here's another double jump, by the way. So even dialogue boxes that you make yourself by interacting with the switch, you can use to double jump. There's less places to use that than you might think. We're not supposed to be up here also. This is the fastest way to get to the next switch we need to hit. The game doesn't tell you the order in which you need to hit these switches at all. You're just expected to do it. I mean, if you're looking for an adventure game type of video game, this is absolutely an adventure game. It's just a point and click adventure with more walking the way we play it. We're gonna maybe do a pause jump up here.
So right.
We didn't do it, so we're gonna do a ladder jump instead. It's still tech. This game's packed with tech.
That looks like nothing so much, but it is absolutely something. You just wouldn't know unless your hand's on the button.
This is the harder double jump. What I'm looking for is the really instant janky looking teleport, because you have less height to work with up there, demonstrating it a little bit.
There you go.
The timing for this is a little particular, and
Nice.
There you go.
the frame rate is
It
variable.
looks tight. It looks tight.
It is
just from a
tight,
visual
yeah.
perspective. Yeah.
And like even when you make it, it still is like, oh, you made it up there? Oh, okay. I didn't think that was gonna happen.
It's a surprise to you. Yeah.
And you still have to be mindful of when you're timing your second jump in the first place, because it still takes time for you to actually get to the point in your jump, to get to the apex of your jump and then do the double jump. That guy this is Thrace, by the way. It's like the central town of the game. It's the Hyrule Castle town. If Hyrule Castle town was entirely empty,
Yeah, the central ghost town.
Can you believe that you have half the medallions already?
It's pretty crazy. This game is lightning fast. This is so fast.
That's one way of putting it.
So we're going. We just bought some stolen goods from that guy. He's been running around this abandoned town looting, and we're going to reward his ill deeds by purchasing a coat for 200 dinars off of him. A hide. It's not even a coat yet.
A hide.
It's just raw materials. And now we have to go immediately back where we came because we need to go make that into a jacket. Sort of jacket. It's more of a vest. It really doesn't make any sense why it would help us at all, actually.
It protects a man from the cold.
To be fair, it doesn't actually help you at all.
No, it doesn't help me at all. We'll find out why in a second. Slight chance of, you know what? I'm just not gonna talk about it. I don't want to invoke any evil spirits right now.
There he is.
The evil spirits do live in this video game. So this is a small cap skin, and that guy just told us this isn't big enough for us. Our muscles are too rippling. We're too jacked. This swag too tight
for sure.
So we're gonna head back. We do know someone who is small enough for this. I might be too. Nope. Smack. Yeah. So there is a timing to it's as easy as it is to clip through things. I mean, you could just, if you know that you can pause to clip through things, you can pick up this game, you can do a casual playthrough right now, and you'll have a good time. Well, you'll have an easier time.
You'll have a time. You'll have a time.
It will be easier. In fact, most of the people we know, which we should probably talk about, this pause jump is also a little hard. You need to do this at the apex of your jump. Like I was saying, timing for the pause stuff is a little bit tricky. If you're too close to the thing you're trying to pause clip into, you are the game's going to know you're colliding with it, or your speed is going to be locked at 0, or both of those things, I guess, and you're not going to clip through it. So you want to do it just before you are colliding with that. We do the dive. It gives us a little bit more speed, which sort of makes the timing a bit more generous, but you can just walk through. I don't need to dive through any of these things. I can just walk through them. In fact, I can also walk through the store. There's just nothing behind it.
So that nice sideways dive was because Hercules will lock on to anything and everything.
He'll lock on to, your friends' barrels. Doesn't matter if you can hurt it. It doesn't matter if you should hurt it. He'll dive at it.
It was just like something off to the side that Hercules dove at.
It could be below you too. There's a point in the swamp where we try not to dive because there's a chance that you'll just lock onto one of the immensely caked up swamp monsters below
we really didn't talk about that.
No,
it didn't.
I don't know if anyone
noticed. Right there in front of us.
If anyone noticed the juicy buttocks of the swamp monsters that we were avoiding earlier, but they've got some stuff going on.
Or how about the fact that
nothing on.
Aeolus, who can't dive, is able to just walk through walls because he walks fast enough.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, Aeolus actually. Thanks for reminding me that he can't do anything, so I can take a drink of water. By the way.
Yeah,
great
you only need the thumb to control Aeolus. It's great.
It's a nice refreshing break. We're heading to Alpsius.
Oh, we should have. Oh, this isn't the part yet. Okay.
Just one time, though, right?
Aeolus just mentioned that he was warm and snuggly in his new winter coat. By the way, the new winter coat, it's not covering up that much. Just
you're right.
We weren't really gonna get to see that, so I thought you needed to know how effective. No sleeves either. Why did he need this?
So Jonas's power is that his arms don't get cold.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm stuck. Okay, no, I'm. Now that's never happened before. So yeah, this switch for some reason is locking a door all the way over here. It's not really the most secure thing. No one's guarding this. It's just like off to the side above the entrance to this town, which is right here.
You can take your sunglasses off now.
Right, so everyone in this town only talks to the gods. If Aeolus tries to talk to most of them, they're just going to tell him to get lost and say that they only talk to the gods. But this guy will talk to us because he's got something to sell us, which that tracks, right? So we're already down to 200 dinars. Now you know why we needed to farm all that money at the beginning. The legendary journeys is a shopping list and a fetch quest. Several fetch quests.
Legendary.
But if literally every quest is a fetch quest, like, are they still fetch quests at that point?
That's one for the philosophers. Give that one to Socrates.
That's above our pay grade.
They met him, right, in the TV show? They met someone.
I just thought
They met everyone. I don't know.
This one's particularly great, right? Because you get the small animal skin to make a coat to go.
It's the most
go get
pointless.
a larger animal skin
If
to make a larger coat.
If someone would love to just find out how to do some weird inventory stuff and switch to coats so we can skip this entire Aeolus section, I would be thankful and probably dehydrated, actually. But
But on the plus side, you never have to equip the coat. It just automatically happens, saving all those pauses.
the only instance in the video game where you don't need to do that. This key I have to manually equip every single time to go through the door. But the coat, the game knows you've got a coat. It's fine.
You're wearing a coat,
We
bud.
got a coat. So now we've got the large steer skin, and we're locking. Oh, okay.
What?
No, it's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine. It happens. Frankly, it happens all the time. Actually, that does happen before. Yeah, barrels. For some reason, even though Hercules can't damage them with his dive. By the way, see that? The lock-on doesn't even help. It doesn't even help. You would be more likely to hit things if Hercules didn't try to hit things. It's baffling. So we got to go all the way back to this first town again. We got to go talk to the tailor, get ourselves another coat made. There's a guy in this town who I wish we got to talk to, right in this water wheel building, who grinds grain. When you talk to him, the first thing he says to you, Hercules, I love to grind grain. So now I gotta equip this large cowhide. I usually try and equip the cowhides in the building because I think it makes the game lag less. It probably does. I don't know why that would affect pausing, but I think it does. I'm gonna clip through here again. Equip this key. The key to the city of Thrace. Keep in mind, this is Trachis. This is actually the key to leave Trachis to go to Thrace. It's not even the key to Thrace itself. It's a little bit mislabeled.
Not worth the brain power.
Look, you know how many times I have to walk down the same road? This is another instance where we're equipping an item we're going to use pretty soon and also doing a pause jump. We don't need to equip the key anymore, so we're going to equip this letter. We're finally going to deliver this letter. Oh, okay, yeah. Hercules might lock on to the satyr on the bridge there. He didn't, though.
This is where I was taking notes, where I realized the entire game up to this point, the last 27 minutes, have been about getting enough stuff to deliver this guy's letter. One big fetch quest inside of other fetch quests.
Now, to be fair, when you're playing the game casually, when you get to Thrace, you can basically go everywhere else in the world, but you have no idea where you're supposed to go.
Yeah.
So
you see that gate that looks like every other gate? You can go there. Oh, you see this mountain? You actually can't go there. You don't have the code.
True.
But you can go there.
Your superpower.
But now we're on trip number 2 up to Alpsius.
Sorry, should have warned you to put your glasses back on.
Well,
6,
who knows? Did you count it? I've never counted.
Yeah. I believe we go up here 6 times.
I don't bother to count because it would make me feel worse about it, I think.
But that's why if anyone can figure out a way how to get up here faster, that is many minutes of time save.
This game is
Good,
not
good conversation
complicated
to be had
at
here.
all. We did just
talk to the.
We are going to talk to this guy. You're so right for this. This is the wrong guy.
Yeah, you want the guy right in front of the cave. Yeah.
So I didn't know about this guy until a while ago. So this guy's asking if we had a chance to speak with Hephaestus, and we're going to say no, which is true. What are you waiting for? Pick it up. And I was hoping for a more reasonable time frame for such a monumental task. Now, Hercules, we both know that is impossible. I don't know what they could be talking about right there. Maybe we'll get some more context on that a little later because it's a little confusing. I'm not sure. That guy just told us that his cousin's dog had 7 puppies, which is important. That's the important news we came here to deliver.
It's pretty normal. That's foreshadowing. Chekhov's puppy.
We did just get a torch, which lets us finally go to the first true dungeon of the game. And you should know that these dungeons are brutally difficult when you are playing this game for the first time. They're just these huge labyrinths. There are walls you got to knock down everywhere. There are skeletons that play scary music and are tanks, and it's just like endless combat. And then you finally get to this boss who is an even larger tank and will just wipe you within 10 seconds, and then you're starting it all over again.
No checkpoints. Very little.
Yeah, no checkpoints. Giga is a little bit better than that and has some slightly more advanced strategies for handling these dungeons.
By the way, if we read the text, that guy, he basically just says that Prometheus just gave him this torch when he was a kid. He's not holding on to it for any grand purpose. And he's not even the guardian of this maze. He's just got the torch, which checks out. I mean, it was a gift to mankind, I guess, so that's fine. But yeah, so this would be brutal. You would need to punch down all of these walls, which would mean you would need to fight all of these skeletons. Because it takes, 2-3 super punches which takes time to charge. And we just don't care. We don't care. We need to hit these switches in a particular order. This one's actually near the start, but I have to hit it second. It's a labyrinth, We're supposed to keep the Minotaur locked up in here. Yep. This is
labyrinth.
I thought that was going to be a good example of the timing you need to go. Where am I right now?
There you go.
They love you so much.
I might not know where I am. I think I know where I am.
We lost. Okay.
Let's
go.
This Minotaur.
Made it to the boss.
They put him in a maze. All right, so this guy's crazy. He'll combo you for days. However,
one punch.
Just one punch into the lava.
That's all you need.
It's so good.
That's all you need. There he goes. He's burning to death. We're gonna take his heart. For some reason,
you're supposed to very, very slowly and methodically just pare down his life, and then you can finally maybe toss him in some fire. But just hit him once, clip him in there. And, it's easy as that.
So normally you need to whittle down a lot of his health. He'll block a lot of your hits. He'll combo you to death. Although we didn't talk about Hercules when he enters the road to Alpsius. Don't worry, we get to see it 3 more times anyway. But when you go to Alpsius, he says it's colder than New Yorkers out there. I don't know why New Yorkers is the reference for a cold place, let alone a snowy mountain top. But it is. If you think New Yorkers is a silly joke, and why would a game about Hercules be making that joke? Have you seen the TV show? It is exactly in character. When we first played this game, so we should maybe talk about why I'm speedrunning this game at all. So everyone, the people who I have on this call with me, Spock and Shoehoise, for the last couple of years, we've been doing this thing called N64 Mania, where we play through a different Nintendo 64 game every Friday, most Fridays. A lot of the time, it's a casual blind race. This is Hephaestus, by the way. Anyway, he's going to tell us we need the torch. We already have it. Then he's going to make the heart into a rune that we need, and then we're going to do this trip again, and then I'm going to keep talking because trip doesn't have anything else going on. So one fateful day, we played Hercules: The Legendary Journeys, not knowing what we were getting into at all. I don't know if anyone really knew anything about this game beforehand. I had heard it was bad. That's about it. I'm stuck on this rock. That happens a lot. And boy, is it bad. Someone finished. Was it? I think JTB finished in 6 hours? 6.5 hours?
Yeah, closer to 7.
Sure.
Yep. And, but something about this game was just so fascinating. Then we later, pretty shortly after, we played the Xena Warrior Princess fighting game. If you don't know Xena Warrior Princess, that's a spin-off. The much more successful, much better spin-off of this TV show. They didn't get the good Nintendo. Well, they probably got the better Nintendo 64 game too. To be honest, where am I going? I am going to.
You got to go to Nespa.
Yes.
Oh my god, that's embarrassing. I have to walk back up.
Yeah, you're supposed to take the portal over to
It's
Nespa.
fine. It's practice.
We just want trip number 7. Well, it will eventually be trip number 7. But for now, it's 4.
That's the thing that gets you about this game is you do so much of the same trip over and over that it's so easy to just autopilot and completely forget what you're doing. I was supposed to. We're gonna have to go not talk to Hephaestus again. We're gonna have to go in Hephaestus's little man cave again, where he's practices, learns the art of the sword. Making the sword. That wolf just kind of teleports through the wall or something. I'm not sure what he's doing half the time. I think he's actually above the wall. See, no extra time at all. Just a little bit more quality time with the road to Alpsius. We're gonna go in here, and we're gonna do the thing I was supposed to do after talking to Hephaestus. We are going to go over here and climb up the mountain from the inside. I don't know why there's like spikes here. It seems like you could die. You can't. There's no fall damage. There's no falling onto spike damage. There is getting impaled by spike damage, which we will see later. Hopefully not, actually.
Hopefully not, yeah.
Yeah.
We do need to come up here because they put a shrine all the way up here. This is where Demeter's medallion is. And then we're going to come down here. No fall damage.
No fall damage.
No fall damage. And we're going to show this person the Rune of Asterius. He's holding the key to this door. Again, we can go through this door, nothing behind it. And this door is going to take us to the road to Nespa. The only way Hercules can get up here, short of like if he learns how to super jump or something, that would still be slower in the speedrun, actually. So we need to come here because the second dungeon is back here. And the Aeolus can't do that. Yeah, so this dungeon is actually, this maze, labyrinth, if you will, the least labyrinthine of all the labyrinths. It's actually very helpfully labeled for us. And we're going to get to go through a lot more walls and see a lot more skeletons who, again, we will be ignoring. So this is the Maze of Asterius. All the Minotaurs do have names. I just refer to them by their number. Sorry, did I spoil that there's another Minotaur? Because absolutely there is one more Minotaur.
Oh, no.
Yo.
But they all get progressively more challenging.
Like, way harder. It's actually true.
The
second one, we've been watching a friend casually play through this recently. The second one blocks like all of your attacks. It's crazy.
And again, that's after you've already have to take out something like 20 skeletons on the way there.
Yep, and you do have to take them out because you got to punch these walls, except for the part where we don't actually. Don't forget about the dogs. We got to take out these dogs. Ooh, 5 dinars. Isn't that lucky? That was too late. I didn't flip through the wall. A good demonstration of that on purpose. Flip through these walls, and not this one. So sometimes the skeletons do mess me up. They're just kind of getting in the way, delaying my thing. This is a lot of... every chest in here contains a key to another chest, which contains a key to another chest, and then that goes on for about 6 of those. Sorry about the sad dog noises, by the way.
Just the whole game, I cringe every time.
Sad dog noise is just too real. I mean, it's also probably just the most stock sound effect in existence, but it's a good one, I guess.
One dog was sad at some point to make it that sad.
On the mic. Ideally, and honestly, I do like to get rid of these skeleton dogs on the way if I can, because, it speeds up the frame rate. We're not going to save the animals speedrun. In fact, it's too late to save these animals because they're already dead.
Well, plus you didn't save the cat earlier.
We did not save a cat. Sorry, cat. You might have heard some meowing in Nespa. That's because there's a lost cat on the rafters somewhere that I don't remember where she is even. Lucy. Her name is Lucy, by the way. Yep. Sometimes there's so many skeletons in this singular hallway that sometimes you'll just clip through these walls without even getting to pause. Not only will you clip through the wall, you just won't have the opportunity to try to clip through the wall. You'll just do it instead. So this is the last key. There's 6 of them. We finally got it. So here's the large key. Yep. So this is like the most vibes-based speedrunning in this entire run. You're not going to be able to see the next wall you're clipping through. You're not seeing the skeletons that are going to block you from clipping through that wall. You're really just kind of going off of the vague movements of the camera and trying to time the next pause so you can actually clip through the things. All right, here's Minotaur number 2. He has a name. It's Asterius, I think.
Yeah.
So we're going to hit the gong, open up this pit, and we're going to get him stuck. And we're just going to walk away, and then he's going to decide he needs a little dip and just get in there for us. So again, we didn't even land a single blow on this guy. I don't know how that works. You just get far enough away and the collision gets a little bit more ethereal, or he does like a jump attack. I'm not sure. I think he just clips through it. He just tries to go faster or something. I don't know. The game stops simulating him.
Again, yet another boss that is just completely miserable to fight.
So miserable. I honestly, I've never defeated that boss normally. When we finally did, we all did go back to, well, most of us did go back to this game at some point and finish it for good. It just had to die, be conquered in some way. And we joked for years. Wouldn't it be funny if someone speedrun this game? And one of us did start learning it.
Voila.
Shortly after. And then eventually we played this game again. I finished it. And then I went to a GDQ and I was really in the mood for speedrunning. And I was like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to learn this speedrun. And, one short year or two later, world record holder, new strats. In fact, so we did this at As Seen on TV about a year ago, I think.
Oh, wow, yeah.
And while I was practicing for that specific run, I actually ran into some weird stuff. And then I discovered a huge final boss strat, which we'll talk about a little bit later, that shaved like 4 or 5 minutes off of the speed run. This is the last of these pause jumps, which I totally messed up. This should be fine. Nope, I'm inside of that. For some reason, you can clip inside of that. I don't know why. It's just that it's an object. It's not part of the level geometry, I think. You might think, like, oh, you can clip through that. Going out of bounds must be so easy. And it's actually not. As porous as most of the collision is in this game, the actual like level boundaries themselves are pretty like ironclad. I don't know how or why, but you think you can like just clip through the walls and shortcut somewhere. Unfortunately, you can't. I wish you could.
Oh.
I don't even know where it would be useful. It might be useful in the Garden of Shrines, potentially.
Got some more New Yorkers there. After defeating the second Minotaur, we got to go all the way back up to Alpsius. And you might think, oh, well, you just warped from Alpsius more or less over to Nespa. Just take that warp back. That's a one-way portal.
It's a one, yeah.
So you got to go back from Nespa through the sort of ruins path, back through Trachis, back through Thrace, climb up Alpsius again, just to go talk to Hephaestus again, who's going to be like, oh, yeah, no, I totally know where you go next. Just doing
By the way,
classic
here's a
move
rune.
of just not giving you what you need all at once, but making you come back over and over and over again.
Yeah, I've walked around that portal many times. I've been like, is it just two-way and we just didn't know? I've, walked around spamming A on that portal thinking like, what if it goes the other way? That'd be so cool. It doesn't. There's even like a magical glyph on the ground, which you actually just don't even see unless you're like walking around that area from the other side, basically. Because I never notice it when I teleport there. I don't know. It would save us a nice trek, if only. A little bit of lock on here. This area is actually like, I have to think a lot about where I'm diving, so I'm not locking on to enemies and barrels and getting massively diverted from the path down the mountain. So there's still like, beyond my buttons, or my fingers mashing the same two buttons over and over again for the rest of my life, I am thinking about my route here. It's not free.
Finally get to go through one of the other doors leading out of Thrace.
So there's a couple doors that you can go to right away. And, if you're playing this casually, you probably will go down this path because there's nothing stopping you. There is something stopping you from where you do need to go next. But you can just go here. You can just go to the beach, Santa Monicas, which I'm still not sure. That's like a pun on Santa Monica, I guess.
Santa Monica, yeah.
But
Yeah.
why?
Also, most folks don't take this exact path to the beach. They do the more dangerous one down below. But you just get to walk along the ledge, which is very nice.
Not supposed to be up here at all.
The
not that hard to
devs
get up here either.
decided that the path to the beach should be filled with a couple of instant death pits along the way.
Yep, and you will remind me to save later.
Absolutely. Before you head
so
into the
I
next
don't
dungeon.
die. Yeah. But yeah, there's a couple pits, and even the cliffs, they've got a couple like very, very steep slopes. If you get onto the wrong part of the cliff, you are going to just slide down and die. So this is the best town in the game. Oops. So good that I'm going to spend more time swimming. I don't know what the water is doing here. I'm not sure if it's supposed to look like that or if it's just like going up and down for no reason.
You got the nice vertical swimming technique too.
Jump up onto this sailboat. This person needs a couple
the
things.
Person from Trachis.
How'd she get here so fast? Oh, she's got a boat. I mean, that makes sense.
That's true.
So she told us we need a fishing net. We're not going to go get the fishing net first, actually. Rare instance of us being able to do something out of order. We're going to pause jump up here just to get up to these like stilt village thing a little faster. We're going to go buy some bait. Another reason we need money. Same person. That's weird. Anyway, I wonder what this person has to say about all that. Let's find out why. What's going on here? What do you mean? The entire population of this town looks the same, and in fact, the entire population of other towns also looks the same. We're all sisters, Hercules. Father decided not to name us as he's very forgetful. I need some more context on that. I don't know about you guys. So none of you have any names? He had very little memory left. That's a weird way to put it, considering how many children he has. What do you mean had? Father passed away quite some time ago. He simply ran out of time. He was released from the hospital way before he should have been. The whole process was incredibly rushed. And I don't know about you guys, but I don't think that's about this town's tragic loss of their father. I think that's about something else. So if you've been wondering this entire speedrun so far, like, oh my god, how did they make this? Did they not know? They knew. They knew exactly what they made. They just didn't have time, I guess. I don't know why they were even rushing to get this game out the door, honestly, because this was like near the end of the show's run, and it takes nothing from anything except for the first episode in the first place.
Yeah, but who would have cared?
Who would have cared?
Who cared when it came out?
Probably the publishers and their money, I guess, would have cared about how long they were paying the developers.
No, who would have cared if the game came out? after Hercules. I think that it wouldn't have been purchased. And in fact, I think it wasn't purchased anyway.
Yeah.
But it was a Blockbuster exclusive after all.
It was a Blockbuster exclusive. That's an important bit of lore also. So that must actually give us 50 dinars for the bait, which we already bought anyways. But that's very nice of her. So we are going to go over here. And we are going to equip this item while we're pause jumping up here. We've got this oyster, and we are going to do that again. Successfully nope. Okay.
Hardest trick in the game.
This is actually way hard. This is way easier than it looks, I'm sorry to say. So this lady shucks oysters. Unfortunately, I forgot to talk to her before equipping the oyster because I was pause jumping. But if you talk to her before you bring out the oyster, all she says is, "I shuck oysters." This is Morgan. She's from Ireland, and also seasons 5 and 6. And I didn't give her the thing I'm supposed to give her because you have to equip every single item. But yeah, she's from Ireland. Somehow she's a pirate now, or the mayor, or both.
Her surfboard over her, she's the Funky Kong of this game.
You also just had to introduce yourself to her again.
Did I?
Yeah.
Normal, very normal. She gave us this key that we have to use on this pillar. I'm going to do a safety save after I talk to this guy. Just because this dungeon's a little precarious. Flipping through that door, very normal. This is Scribe. She's actually the save person. Missed opportunity for her to be Gabrielle, honestly. I don't know why she isn't.
It is.
They have no Xena characters in this.
Missed opportunity to use a rumble pack.
You're right. You're so right.
I mean, there's a big shadow on that person's face. They could be Gabrielle. I think we headcanon that at some point.
I'd like to believe she is. This is the most dangerous labyrinth of all. There's actually, we could take a lot of damage here. If I had a lot of health, I might just allow myself to take damage. I guess I did anyways. We are going to, what we can do is we can sort of pause clip through these gnashers to try and avoid much of the damage. It's going to be a little harder on this one. So I'm just going to kind of, pause a couple times and tank some damage. I think I can survive one more and we'll get some backup health after that. So we should be fine. But this is why we have a safety save. I can't see. I'm vibes-based speedrunning this. Okay, we have, we have strategy. A little bit of health. All we need is 1 pixel. This is a more dangerous jump than it appears, by the way. There's just lava down there. It scares me every time.
It's like the gravity is super high in this game.
So I actually don't know if I can do this. Normally I would just block this spiked wall, but I think that would do a tiny amount of damage, which might actually kill me. That spiked wall is actually an instant kill. This is 1, 3, 2. Every key, they actually are labeled, but we don't remember. It doesn't tell you which key is which after you collect them all. So this collection of chests contains even more keys that we need. I'm gonna wait and see where this spiked wall is. Maybe it's behind me. He's right behind me, isn't he? And there he is. That just happened. Sorry. My brain has been ruined by movie trailers. So here's our backup health. This is the most convenient place to heal ourselves back up. So we've got a couple healing items. This is one of the better ones. There's apples, then there's beer, which is more healthy than apples. Don't take that advice, by the way. Apples are good for you. And then there's bread, which is that's a good one. That's 300 health. That's healthy. And then there's meat, which makes sense. But there's like 1 or 2 meat spawns in the entire game. I'm not even sure if I know where they all are. So we got that key, which goes here. Got a little bit of health, so maybe I will block the instant death spiked wall, which I actually will. Blocked. Get blocked, idiot.
Scared me.
So yeah, that's an instant kill. But like we've seen before, and we're about to see again in a little bit more of a spectacular fashion, Hercules can block everything, including death. And actually, I think
That's true to his character.
if you are somehow blocking when you fall into a death pit, you don't die. There's no real way to take advantage of that. But
Yeah, then you're still in a pit.
there's still a
Soft blocked
pit.
at that point.
You can't unblock. You're just trapped.
Oh.
I don't think you have to hit these switches in a particular order. This is just the fastest way to do it. Either that, or they conveniently made the order the fastest order.
Love that sound
skeleton
effect.
sound.
It's so good.
So
I'm not sure what causes it at all, by the way. Enemies,
their
vaguely.
stealth attack.
Yeah,
It's
but
when they're around the corner and you don't see
I
them.
guess so. The thing is, you think like only skeletons make that noise, right? No, regular guys make that noise too for some reason.
Oh. Okay.
So here's the third and final Minotaur. I don't know how.
His own business over there.
I'm gonna smash his pot, and then I'm going to block the lava. He can't block the lava. He can block all of my punches just fine. He can't block the lava though. If I never see another Minotaur again, it'll be too soon, and thankfully we won't, except for the SGDQ 2025. Catch you there. I'm gonna save again just in case. I guess I don't really need to do the save, but it's here, and I've decided I'm going
Yeah.
for it.
Here.
It's quick, and there's just ways to accidentally die.
I might grab a little bit more health.
Yeah.
I'm a little low, and I shouldn't actually need any more health at all. We've done most of the combat. At least we've done most of the combat as Hercules.
200.
So
Yeah,
I'm gonna
but also tossing
Every one of
barrels is fun.
these- It is. Do they all have health in them? Every barrel?
every barrel. I don't think there's ever.
They don't all have bread in
It's a
them.
varying amount of health, but they all have health in them.
I think what you meant to say is you were tossing the barrels for RNG manipulation.
Yes, yes, and there is some RNG coming up pretty soon, actually. Except for the RNG that happens every single time you punch anything.
Whoa.
We don't do much of that. So the other side of this, I was able to get up without even a pause jump. Here, you need a little bit of a pause jump. Again, we're doing this mostly just to skip these death pits, but also just to get out of the way of these guys who, might be blocking us. We get to do a few more dives up here. Keeps us a little speedier. I still want to stay away from the ledge, ideally. I don't think I mentioned this before, but every time I dive down from a high place, I'm actually saving time. Because if you don't dive, you're going to get like a little bit of a landing stun when you fall down there. So anyone want to guess where we're headed next?
Let's see, you just killed a Minotaur.
Mm-hmm.
This feels
What
like a
does that
good time to
mean?
climb a mountain.
Yep. Well, it's that hot cold therapy. We were just at the beach. Now it's time for the cool down. We're jumping straight from the sauna into the ice water. Yeah.
This should be the
like
second to
from the
last
fireplace
climb up
into
to
the
the
fire.
top. But this is probably a good time to talk about actually what's going to go down in the final fight, which is not that far away.
Yeah, so the final fight, we just aren't going to have time to explain it because the final fight just doesn't leave us with enough time anymore, if I do it right, anyway. So last time this was on Hotfix, I had to fight all 3 phases of the final boss, which is Ares, by the way, our half-brother.
Slow.
So normally what you would be doing, he has 4,000 health. When he gets down to 2,000 health or lower, crucially or lower, he would immediately teleport away. When he teleports away, it's going to start phase 2, which is just a huge wave of guys. The most combat we'd ever need to do in the speedrun, actually, at one point in time. And then, after that huge wave of guys, Ares would come back with full health, and then he'd spawn 2 clones of himself, and then you'd only have to kill the real one, but that's a lot of boss fight. And it's even more boss fight because having 20 dudes show up really slows down the video game. So after the last hotfix, I went back to investigate something weird that came up while I was practicing. And then I dug around with some stuff more. I edited some memory values. I found out if you could get Ares' health to 0 before he teleported away, he would die. He would give you the credits, or he would give you the text that leads into the credits, and the game would just be over. He wouldn't do the other 2 phases. He would skip a huge amount of the final boss. And then I was like, okay, but how do I make that happen? I had a couple promising leads. I had one thing where actually I could kill him, sort of. I could kill him. But then phase 2 would happen, and then after phase 2, the game would just crash because he's dead and they're trying to set his health back to 4,000 or something. But then I found a way to stop him from teleporting away, which basically requires some tricky damage manipulation. We try to get him over the 2,000 HP threshold. This is Serena, the Golden Hind, by the way. She's going to go take care of the next boss. So we get him over the HP threshold, then we interrupt his teleport away in such a way that he goes back into basically his normal fighting stance. And then we're able to drop his health very carefully, because if we knock him down again and he gets back up, he's going to teleport away and then start phase 2 anyway. So hopefully we won't see that. I don't want to do phase 2 because it sucks. And then we just finished the game in one phase, and we kill him in 4,000 health instead of 8,000, plus a bunch of dudes. So this is the Titan Nemesis. She's got the last thing we need. We are not going to be shooting at her. We are actually just shooting at these targets. We're basically playing, you know, the castaways from Mario Party. This control is pretty much like that. Hopefully I hit those. Okay, good.
Praying for meatballs.
Yeah, we're praying for the meatball. So I said there was RNG. This is the RNG. Oof. She's got 3 attacks she can do. She's got the hand fire, the mouth fire. Mouth fire is okay. It leaves us a little bit of time to shoot an arrow. The hand fire kind of sucks. See, there I actually managed to get 2 shots
sparkly
off.
Fire.
I'd love to see Nona cook me up a spicy meatball, please. She's not doing it.
No meatballs at all.
What the heck is this? This is really rude, actually. Oh, there we go.
There we go.
So she's stunned for a long time after throwing the meatball, and actually there's a bit of a wind up to it, too. So it gives us a lot more time to aim for the next target and get a couple shots off.
Cannot tell if any of those are hitting.
You really can't, and sometimes they can be dead on and they just seemingly won't hit. Not sure how or why that happens. I don't know if we can get these off. Oh, I'm not chancing it. Sometimes it's worth tanking some fire. I've already tanked a little bit of fire there, so I don't want to invite any more into my home.
One more.
Yeah, one more cycle. Two more targets.
Yeah.
2 more of these targets. One more sort of cycle of this. Give me a meatball. Nope. Okay. What is up with this? Is actually like really bad RNG, I have to say.
Jeez, this is brutal.
This should be okay.
Even up earlier.
I'm not gonna have enough time to get over that. Another meatball.
Nice.
Blessed.
With the triple?
Not really, but we're good. Well, yeah, the triple meatball.
The triple meatball, yeah.
We're gonna get away from the water, because if you're standing directly in the water, the game lags even more than it was already. Like,
Don't stare directly into the water, kids.
yeah. So Titan's done. We've got the thing we need. We need to immediately start moving so we don't get comboed by these harpies. They won't necessarily kill you. They'll do quite a bit of damage though, and knock you down. So we're gonna walk over here.
Can we get some jumps in there?
Yeah, this isn't this jump like so majestic? I'm taking this horse to the horse competition where they jump over the things. I don't know what that's called.
Golden Hind would be really good at dressage, though.
Yeah.
There's like eventing.
Isn't that the one where they just like walk around? You just walk your horse places?
Fancy walking.
Yeah.
Walking diagonally and stuff.
They have great names.
So I'm gonna see if I can do this quickly. Save myself some trouble. I can.
Nice.
Perfect jump.
Woo, let's go.
I just don't want to jump over the scary death pits if I can help it. I'm not used to walking on this side, so I'm probably gonna dive less than I normally would. Just kidding. It's fine over here. The first part was a little weird, but this is okay. I might not dive here though. I don't want to chance anything on this side. Okay, we're fine. We are past the instant death. And we're about to go to the end of the video game. Actually, just kidding. There's one more Alpsius trip. If you can believe that.
One more climb up the mountain. You gotta get one more medallion. You only got 5 dinar though. What's the deal with that?
Pocket change. Always got to keep a little on you for emergencies.
Mostly it's the buy 5 get 1 free deal.
It's actually a little unfortunate because I'm used to having the 0 there as like sort of a visual indicator for Ares' health bar.
Yeah.
Oh, true.
I think the 5 takes up about as much space, so I don't think it's a big problem. But like,
it should.
If it, like I said, the damage manipulation is very particular, and like I also said at another point in this speedrun, the damage is also completely random. The only consistent sources of damage are throwing him and throwing a barrel at him. And everything else is based on the frame rate, which means it's random. We do have a way to sort of control that little. We can manipulate it a little bit. If we go into first person, the game runs fast. A little bit, not much. Basically, we just try and reduce the amount of things on screen while we're punching Ares. Because the amount of damage you do is actually what determines if he gets knocked down and stunned or not. Basically, as far as my testing has gone, if you punch him and the punch does like over 150 damage or something like that, he's going to get knocked down and stunned. And if it does less than that, he's not going to get knocked down. So we try to maximize the frame rate. We try to attack with a very specific order of attacks, and we hope that we can get him over to that 2,000 damage threshold and stop him from teleporting away and skip most of the boss fight. It's not 100%, but it is fairly reliable now. Once I realized how much first person helped, it got a lot safer, actually. I used to have runs just kind of die. It doesn't end the speed run, but it does make it a lot slower. So if you're going for a PB, it does end the speed run. So we should be fine just in case something does happen. This is we've been able to go here the whole time too, by the way. The nicest area in the game, and we're about to see it for 30 seconds or so. This is what all the medallions are for. We've been collecting them the whole game for this. Just depositing them into the various shrines.
Yeah, I just realized that they don't make you go into the inventory to select which medallion goes where, but they certainly are going to make you do that very soon for something else that they clearly didn't need to do.
Go back here. We need to do the Medallion of Zeus last. This one doesn't activate without doing all the other ones first. As if there was any way to get the Medallion of Zeus early in the first place. I'm not sure why they set it up this way. That activates this teleport over here, which is going to take us to Mount Olympus, which is actually a floating island for some reason.
Floating island.
Can you pause jump up there instead of kicking the block?
I think it's a little bit out of the way.
Okay.
Pause jump doesn't give you that much more height. So now we've got Olympus is not very complicated. We're basically just, the block puzzle. Sorry, it's complicated. I lied.
Puzzle solved. Well done. Well done.
Yeah. Thank you. So now we've got to go collect the Chaos Emeralds. So we can go fight our brother Ares. And
Thanks for me. You're in the Chow Garden.
I was kind of working off of the Half-Life Zen level design philosophy of floating islands and teleports and weird abstract level design. It's a very nice looking area. There's a not much to it.
Wait, someone in chat referencing falafel? We love this.
All right, so we've got the Chaos Emeralds. Now we need to go have... The Golden Hind is also here for some reason. I don't know how she got here. I'd love to know how so we can develop the speedrun a little further. She's got something else to take care of. There's a dragon up here blocking the way somehow. And we weren't able to do this in the last boss fight, but we can go into first-person mode and then just kind of headshot this dragon, which is a little tricky because the head hitbox actually doesn't move, but the rest of the body does. The head visually does. We're going to one-cycle that dragon with our hit scan arrows. It would be really nice if we could use those in the last fight.
That fight is not actually that easy. That is another one where we probably spent 10 tries, or you just take forever on it.
That's true, and yet it's forgettable in this.
Barely even remember it exists. So we can push this statue, but what we're going to do instead is clip through it and equip the gem, because we need to equip this gem to open up the portal to our brother. This is also in a specific order. He says they might fit here as if they don't just levitate above the pillar in the first place. One more, two more.
But then we're getting up on the Ares fight right as soon as we get through this portal here.
Yeah, so luckily we explained a lot, because if this goes well, it's not going to have time to explain basically anything. I'll do my best.
You got this.
So we're going to run up here immediately and grab this barrel. Throw it at Ares. Okay, good. We're going to grab the meat just in case. Sorry about the burp. First person hopefully gets knocked down relatively quickly. That should be fine. Gonna throw him. That's 300 damage. We're gonna try and knock him down again. Ooh, that's very good, I think. First person to get... Okay, we're over the threshold. Good. So we picked him up. We're gonna punch him to reset him after the throw. That's gonna interrupt his teleport. And we're not gonna throw the barrel yet.
No, he needs a bit more.
Going to whittle down his health a little bit more. We can just do the same thing we did last time. We don't need to do as much damage. Just do that. Okay, and I'm gonna go to another barrel because he actually catches up to you really quick, and then he does like this jump attack. So time is gonna be at the end of this dialogue box he's about to give me. But there's a couple lines, so I'm just gonna try and go for it. And time. There you go, that's Hercules. And that is one phase out of the 3 phases that we would have had to do if I did this run last time. Last Hotfix. So we've saved Zeus. Our dad is free from the orb. Everything is okay now. The people rejoiced. Maybe Hercules will visit your village someday. And yeah, that's Hercules the Legendary Journeys. It is an awfully silly game. It's got way more sauce than it has any right to have as a speed game. I mean, I think it's pretty cool anyway. Maybe I'm just brainwashed, but yeah.
No, it's definitely cool. It is definitely cool.
Yeah, it was. Thanks for having me on the show. Thanks to Shoehorse and Spock, some of the N64 Mania crew, fellow Hercules sufferers, for joining me on this journey. One more little piece of trivia that I just have to mention. After we played both of these games, we just had to know where they came from. We watched all of Hercules the Legendary Journeys and Xena Warrior Princess.
Wow.
After. And honestly, it's a good time. Xena is a great show. Hercules is fun. It's pretty fun. It's not bad.
Except for the Ireland season. But yeah, so this has been Hercules. Hope you all enjoyed. And yeah, thanks for having me on Hotfix again. It was great to show off the new strat. The world record is way lower than it used to be. It's at like 104 now. So it's going down, probably not that much lower, honestly, but
It's been developing.
He's on it.
Unless we discover some new tech. So who wants to go find a fast way to go up to Alpsius for me? I'll love you forever.
You heard them, get that out there. Where are glitch hunters at, all right. Well, thank you all so much. That was an incredible run. This game is spectacular in its own very unique ways, of course. But I appreciate all of you for being here. The incredible run. For everyone else out there, we are going to take a little bit of a break before we get set up with our next run here. So feel free to get up, stretch, maybe take a long dive towards your bathroom if you need to do that. But be sure to get back here in a few short moments. Yeah.